welcome back to A Bit Gamey and the second test of my Ramillies 4-stage battle. Taking individual battles and historical battles and dividing them into chunks, which can then be done one at a time on small tables. So it's a bit whatever, but never mind. Okay, this is I don't know how to film it without showing off all my stuff scattered everywhere. Well, yes. So basically, this is the French left flank at Ramillies, which was a kind of tight valley going up into sort of wooded hills. So it's meant to represent a steepish slope and a kind of ravine. I mean, not quite, but kind of ravine. So that's the stream going down. That's the village of Autre-Eglise. I've changed the village squares to now 5-inch squares, but obviously I'm going to need to put some kind of building on them at some point. So you've got two steep slopes with a stream through the middle, and Autre-Eglise on the left, and the British and Allies on the right. Quick, I'm doing some. I'll show. I can't remember if I showed these before. These are from war bases. They're the little kind of ploughed field sort of thing. I'm not entirely sure what scale they're meant to be. I'd say they're probably more like 15mm, but they're okay. Just put them down. A little bit of terrain. It's not great, but it's okay. And I intend to sort of make fields at some point. But while you're waiting, might as well use something nice and convenient. So so the test is on my 3-foot table. Obviously, and what I'm doing is using these tests to make a list of all the things I need. So, for example, I'm going to need some kind of felt cloth to go over all these books. But I don't have that yet. So the idea is, so you've got this kind of stream ravine with the French. You got two battalions, a cannon, and a cavalry regiment. But the thing about what happened at Ramillies is that the British did a kind of strong attack on Autre-Eglise on the right flank, and the French reinforced it. And because the attack was strong enough, that used up a lot. The French reserves went up to the left, and then later on, Marlborough brought his forces back down to the centre and attacked in the centre. So the kind of cracks of the battle was the French using up their reserves, in the wrong place, basically. So the idea of this kind of this game will be, the French have got 4 units and 2 in reserve, and the British and Allies have got 6. So the idea is, can the French hold off the attack without using up those 2 spare battalions? If they can, then those 2 spare battalions can come in on the fourth battle. So that's it. Or if they need to use them to defend this left flank, then they're not available for the 4th battle. So that's basically that's the kind of thing I'm trying to simulate. Whether it works or not, we'll find out. So the British have got 6. British and Allies have got 6 units. And the idea they're trying to take this right flank, but at least to use up the 2 French spare units. If they succeed in that, then the French don't get any reinforcements from the left on the 4th battle, and obviously if they win or if they win, then they win the battle. You know, they turn the flank and the battle's won there. But if it doesn't come off that way, then if they use up the reserve battalions, then that's super good. So what was I going to say? The other things. So yeah, so a felt cloth for hilly battles. What's the other ones? Oh yes, the other thing I'm going to want is it's kind of smoke for firing. You know, in this period you have what they call first fire, which is when the battalions they've all got well loaded muskets and stuff, and the first fire is particularly effective apparently. So what I'm going to want, partly for aesthetics, and partly for that, is to have long strands of smoke, basically, so that every time they fire, you put up a sort of 4 inches or whatever of cotton wool. So that's one thing that I've got to add to the list, is these 4 inch or 4 or 5 inch strips of battalion fire smoke made out of cotton wool, and smaller ones maybe for the cannons, and so basically as long as a unit has one of those in front of it, it won't get first fire. But it's also partly for visual aspect, that these battles should be covered in smoke. Okay, so that's it for now. Let's do the first turn. And one last point at this stage is just deciding on the scale of the village bases. Because at the moment I'm thinking of using these 5 inch bases, but should the buildings actually be 15 mil, 20 mil, 28 mil? I don't know yet. I'm gonna have to experiment with that, because if you're wanting a village to defend, you don't necessarily have to have 28 mil buildings. You can just have a little diorama of 20 mil or 15 mil. That kind of symbolises what you've got. So time will tell on that. So the British cannon fires and the infantry advance. French cannon fires back, and neither hit. And so that's that for the first go. British move up, cannon misses, and the French cannon takes off the first casualties. One of the British gunners. So British get a bit closer. French turn and miss with a cannon. The French turn, I think they missed with the cannon as well, and they got the 2 battalions open fire. I'm doing the taking casualties thing now, rather than using the 1 hour war games way. So it's basically 8+ to take off a casualty, and if a line battalion takes 4, they're off, and guards, if they take 6, they're off. There's British guards in that second row. So yeah, the French on the left fire and take a casualty. Take a casualty off the Dutch. The French battalion in the village fires at the guys in front and takes a casualty off them. And the French charge and lose the casualty to the defensive fire, and don't do a casualty to the British. So current state of play. Right, yep. So British take a casualty off of the French on the right flank, and the battalion firing at the village takes another one off, and the guards start moving. Guards start moving around to get closer to the village themselves. French firing takes out a couple of casualties, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, it would look a lot better visually if they had all the smoke, but still. So British fire, the cannon takes out a casualty in the village and sets it on fire. British gets another casualty on the right flank. Everywhere else doesn't get any. The guards move into position. So yes, that's that. French caused a casualty on the guards, but that's it. British all fire, no effect. The fire takes out another casualty from the battalion in the village. They're on 3 casualties now, so 1 more and they're gone. Oh, and another cavalry was taken off on the left, well, nearby. French fire, 1 casualty. There's 1 battalion on 3 and 1 on 2. So whatever, but the French cavalry looking a bit weak, and the battalion in the village will be gone. They didn't put out the fire, so they'll be gone and will need to be replaced with one of those 2 reserve battalions. French move a reserve battalion into the village. The battalion on the left fires, takes out another casualty, and the cannon take out the last casualty for the battalion in front of the village. So that's a whole British battalion gone. British firing a miss on the right flank, fire and miss on the village. Cannon fires and misses on the village. That battalion at the back, it moves up in column towards the village, and the battalion on the left, British one, takes out another cavalry. So they're almost gone. French unit on the left misses. The battalion in the village misses, and the cannon hits one of these guys coming up to the village, and the cavalry take out another casualty from there. So they're on 3 casualties now. So touch and go, because they're both on 3 casualties in fact. British are all moved up and all fire and all miss. Did the cannon miss? Yeah, whatever. I think they all missed. And the French battalion in the village takes another casualty from the fire. Yeah, I think that's it. French all miss and don't put out the fire. Very successful British firing. The battalion on the left takes out the French cavalry, and the cannon and both British line battalions take out casualties from the village, which removes them, +1 from the fire, and the rightmost battalion misses. So the 2nd French Reserve Battalion moves into the village. The battalion on the left misses, and the cannon takes out another casualty out of the battalion in front of them. So the question really now is how long should this have gone on for? I haven't been counting the turns, but this is effectively the end. The fact that they both reserve battalions have been used up, but I suppose I could carry on just to see if the British actually win all full turn sort of thing. They've still got their 4 units left. French have got 3, all damaged though. Yes, so that's that. So yeah, because I could give this a certain time limit, because this attack happened early-ish in the day, so it's you could give it like 6 turns or 8 turns. I think we're about 6 now. I'm not sure, but we'll just carry on for now. So British fire and miss everywhere. Left-hand battalion moves up to the left of the village. The fire in the village takes out one of the French figures. French battalion in the village takes off one of the guards, and the cannon takes off one of the battalion directly ahead of it. So that's on 3, and the guards are on 2, and the other one is on 3, and these are on 3. So they're all pretty bad. Oh, and they don't manage to fix the fire. British battalion on the right flank volleys and takes out the French unit on their left, and the cannon got a casualty on the village, and another one from the fire, and the Bath battalion moves up onto the edge next to that cannon. So if the fire's not out, that battalion in the village is gone. The French cannon takes out the British battalion that was directly ahead of the village, and they couldn't get the fire out. So the cannon and the fire took out the French battalion in the village. Various misses, and the right hand battalion moves up onto the ridge. So basically, I haven't actually figured out what I'm going to do about fighting cannon. I mean, I assume they just charge it and that'll be that. But who knows? Anyway, so yeah, so it's pretty much a British victory. But is it after too many turns? If it was 6 turns, they'd roughly they would have done the job of preventing French reinforcements going to the last battle. So I should probably have stopped it at that point, and like turn 6 or whatever it was. I think it was around turn 6, and it was just a little bit of fun to push it on. But you got 2 battalions with 3 casualties and 1 with 2, so it's quite a messed up thing. And this is the kind of disadvantage of the villages, in that I'm making it so it's like you need 10 plus to hit in the village, or 8 plus otherwise. And so as long as it doesn't catch fire from the cannons, defending a village is quite a good deal. But once it's caught fire, then you're a bit stuffed. Yeah, I don't know. So that's it. Well, hey, let's just assume that you could just charge artillery. No, it's not. Let's say you can charge artillery, and if you don't get hit, which they did, I need some rule to what you do with infantry against artillery, but whatever, it doesn't actually matter, because what's going to happen is those 2 battalions are going to move into the village. British victory at about 8 turns, I guess. I'm not entirely sure, but a tactical victory as far as the actual Ramillies is concerned, around turn 6, and that's kind of what I want. I want the British to either win or lose around turn 6, and then the reserve battalions can either help in battle for or not. So that's basically it. I mean, not the there's a quick view of the casualties, just to show that it's I mean, I do like the casualty removal. I mean, it is a massive pain having the the figures falling out all the time, but I do like it. Yeah. So so it's kind of painful, but I probably will do the basing like this for the rest of it, because I mean, on the small table and all the rest of it, it's the aesthetic benefit isn't that great, but I can imagine it on a bigger table with all the kind of the smoke barriers of all the fire going on, and on a larger table with more battalions and lots of smoke. it's going to look it looks better. You get the feel of what's happening, because you look at the bases and you see there's like 3 holes, and you know it's only going to take 1 lucky dice roll and that battalion's gone. So I don't know, I do like it, even though it is a pain, but I do like it. So yes, so that's more or less, you know, what I wanted for this test. It kind of works how I sort of want it to work. The only questions are the visual aesthetics. You know, the felt cloth for the heels, and what's the other thing? I've forgotten what it was now. Oh, and the firing smoke in front of each battalion. But yeah, quite good fun. You know, short and sweet, good fun, and a useful test for battle 2 of this 4-battle kind of campaign. But it's really just a battle of Ramillies split into 4 chunks. Okay, 2 pip.